The October wind whips through the mountain venue's open doors, scattering my carefully arranged place cards across the pine floor. I grab them before they can flutter away, tucking each one back into its proper spot on the burgundy tablecloth. My fingers brush across Adam's name, paired with mine at the sweetheart table, and I smile. 3 weeks until I become Mrs. Adam Chen. Golden sunlight streams through the floor-to-ceiling windows, catching the amber and rust-colored leaves outside. The perfect backdrop for our autumn wedding. I check another item off my clipboard. Table settings, done. Moving on to the centerpiece mock-up. My phone pings. Probably the florist in tomorrow's delivery. But the message comes from an unknown number. So excited for your special day. Thank you for the invitation. Below it sits a photo. My save-the-date card, the one with Adam and me laughing in the aspen grove, our hands intertwined. The same card I specifically didn't send to one person. My clipboard slips from my fingers. The sound of papers scattering across wooden floorboards echoes through the empty venue. I stare at the sender's name above the message. Sierra. My sister's name blurs as memories crash over me. The scholarship letter. The devastating mail. Her smirk when I confronted her. You always get everything. I just wanted you to know how it feels to lose. Hey beautiful, brought you that pumpkin spice latte you love. I spin around. Adam stands in the doorway, 2 coffee cups in hand, his familiar warm smile fading as he sees my face. The wedding planner glances between us, then quietly ushers her staff outside. The door clicks shut behind them. Did you invite my sister to our wedding? My voice comes out steady, controlled, though my hands shake. Adam's smile disappears completely. His eyes drop to the floor, then back to mine, guilt written across every feature. Marissa, listen. She's your only sister. It's been 10 years. The words hit like a physical blow. I grab the edge of the nearest table, steadying myself. You knew. You knew what she did. It was a long time ago. People change. Our third date floods back to me. The little Italian restaurant where I finally opened up told him everything. How Sierra sabotaged my $75,000 design school scholarship. How she faked a withdrawal email from my account to the committee. How she destroyed the career I'd spent years planning. But most importantly, I remember what came after. My voice fierce despite my tears. If you ever try to bring her back into my life, we're done. And Adam's response, his hand covering mine. I would never do that to you. I promise. Let me see your phone. The words come out before I can stop them. What? Your phone, Adam, now. He hesitates, then hands it over. His password hasn't changed my birthday. I open his messages, scroll back through months of conversations. My stomach turns. Messages to Sierra. She'll forgive us both once she sees you there. To my parents, I think it's time we help them reconcile. Their response, you're such a good man, Adam. Marissa will thank you for this someday. The magnitude of the betrayal steals my breath. They've been planning this for months. All of them. I slide my engagement ring off my finger. The diamond catches the sunlight, scattering tiny rainbows across the venue contract on the table. I place the ring beside it. Marissa, please. Adam's voice cracks. I thought I was helping heal your family. I look up at him. Really look at him. Seeing him clearly for the first time. The man I thought would protect me had instead conspired with the people who hurt me most. There's nothing to heal. My voice comes out quiet but firm. Because there is no family. Not anymore. I walk past him, my steps steady on the wooden floor. He calls after me, but I don't turn around. The mountain air hits my face as I step outside, carrying the scent of pine and autumn leaves. A scent that will forever remind me of the day I learned that sometimes the deepest betrayals come wrapped in the guise of love. Behind me, the venue doors close with a final, resonant thud. 3 days later, canceled vendor contracts litter my studio apartment floor like autumn leaves. The florist's pristine letterhead, the caterer's elegant script, the photographer's minimalist logo, each one marked with bold red letters. Canceled. My phone buzzes again. 27 missed calls from Adam. 14 from Mom. This isn't like you, sweetheart. Mom's latest voicemail plays as I fold another contract. We raised you to believe in second chances. A delivery man knocks. Another arrangement of white lilies. Mom's note nestles among the blooms. Family forgives, sweetheart. The flowers join 3 other identical arrangements by the window, their scent turning my stomach. My wedding dress hangs in the corner, its delicate lace catching the morning light. $2,000 of broken promises wrapped in tulle and silk. I turn my back on it, but its presence fills the room like another person watching, waiting. Dad's voice crackles through my phone speaker. "We've all been talking, honey. Sierra made a mistake when she was young. God knows I've made plenty myself." His familiar chuckle scrapes against my nerves. "Remember when I sold that '68 Mustang without telling your mother?" The text from Adam arrives while Dad's message still plays. "I've been meeting with your parents. They understand why I did this. Why can't you?" Below it, a photo. Adam, Mom, Dad, and Sierra squeezed into a booth at Romanos, our favorite date night restaurant. Their faces glow with conspiratorial warmth. Sierra's head rests on Mom's shoulder. Adam's arm stretches behind my sister, comfortable, familiar. The timestamp reads 3 weeks ago. My coffee mug slips from my fingers, shattering against the hardwood. Dark liquid seeps into the canceled contracts, bleeding through paper, distorting signatures. Sierra's email arrives next, subject line blinking. "I've changed, give me one chance." I disregard it. 10 years is long enough to punish everyone. Mom's voice fills my apartment again. "I raised you better than this. Forgiveness is what defines us as a family." The message cuts off. Another begins. "The whole family agrees with Adam. You're letting the past control your future, and it's not healthy." The front door clicks. Elaine walks in, armed with takeout bags and that fierce look she gets when she's ready for battle. "I brought reinforcements." She holds up a bottle of wine. "And I'm not leaving until we've tackled all this." She gestures at the paper carnage surrounding me. "I can't keep you here. You have that big client meeting tomorrow." "Already rescheduled." She drops the bags on my kitchen counter. John's covering it. My phone rings again. Adam's face fills the screen. Elaine snatches it before I can react, silencing the call. "Oh, and that reminds me." She pulls a business card from her pocket. "Remember Caroline from accounting? Her aunt went through something similar with her family. She'd like to talk if you're interested." The scent of garlic and tomato sauce fills my apartment, pushing back against the cloying sweetness of Mom's lilies. Elaine unpacks containers, her movements precise, purposeful. She doesn't ask if I'm okay, doesn't push for details, just creates order in the chaos, one takeout container at a time. My neighbor Tom's voice carries through the open window. "Last box loaded in your car, Elaine. Need anything else moved from his place?" "That's everything," Elaine calls back. "Thanks, Tom." The final pieces of my life with Adam, packed and labeled. While they were busy meeting and sending me messages, I was choosing myself again, alone and unprotected. Now looking at it, 3 years condensed into cardboard boxes. My gaze drifts to my laptop, to the email draft I've been avoiding. "You don't have to do this tonight," Elaine says, following my look. Yes, I do. The wedding cancellation email takes shape, each word measured, stripped of blame or bitterness. Due to unforeseen circumstances, the wedding of Marissa Caldwell and Adam Chen has been canceled. All gifts will be returned with our sincere gratitude for your kind wishes. Send. 148 guests. 148 gifts to return. Each one requiring a personal note. Each note a reminder of what I've lost. What was taken. The wedding dress watches, silent, accusing. "Help me get it down?" My voice cracks on the last word. Elaine sets down her wine glass. Together we lift the dress from its hanger. The beaded bodice catches the light, scattering tiny rainbows across my walls. We place it in its garment bag, careful not to snag the delicate fabric. "The consignment shop opens at 10 tomorrow," I say. Elaine nods, zipping the bag closed. Her hand finds mine, squeezes once. Understanding passes between us without words. A leather-bound journal peeks out from beneath the scattered contracts, its pages dog-eared and worn. My throat tightens. The scholarship journal. Every detail of Sierra's betrayal recorded in my furious handwriting. Evidence I couldn't bring myself to show Adam, even after he promised to protect my heart. The final entry ends mid-sentence, as if 17-year-old me couldn't bear to write another word. But there's more to that story. So much more that Adam never knew, that no one knew. I close the journal, slide it back under the papers. Some truths need to wait for their moment. Elaine hands me a container of pasta, her expression soft but determined. One bite at a time, one box at a time, one day at a time. We'll get through this. Outside my window, the October wind whips through the trees, stripping away dead leaves, making room for something new to grow. The clicking of my heels echoes through the glass lobby of Anderson Design Group, each step deliberate and measured. I pause at the entrance, catching sight of my reflection. 3 weeks after canceled wedding plans have left dark circles under my eyes, but my spine remains straight, my head high. Then I see them. My mother stands near the reception desk in her signature pearl necklace, while Sierra perches on one of the leather visitor chairs, wringing a tissue between her fingers. The same fingers that typed that fake withdrawal email 10 years ago. Marissa. My mother steps forward, arms outstretched. We need to talk, sweetheart. I press the elevator button, keeping my gaze fixed on the brushed steel doors. Please, Sierra's voice breaks. I came all this way. I just want to make things right. The entire first floor has gone silent. I feel my coworkers' eyes on us, their morning conversations frozen mid-sentence. Even Janet at reception has stopped pretending to type. We're not leaving until you listen. My mother's voice carries that familiar steel, the tone that once sent me to my room without dinner when I questioned why Sierra never faced consequences. I have a client meeting in 10 minutes. My voice emerges steady, professional. And you're both trespassing. Trespassing? Sierra stands, tears streaming. I'm your sister. Janet. I turn to our receptionist. Please call security. You can't be serious. My mother's face flushes. I raised you better than this. Yes, you raised me to keep quiet when Sierra hurt me. To smile at family gatherings while she smirked about ruining my future. To pretend everything was fine. The words flow out, cool and precise. But I don't work for you anymore. I work here. Janet's hand hovers over the phone. Should I? Yes. I meet my mother's shocked gaze. Call them. The security guards arrive within minutes. Professional, discreet, they escort my family out while my colleagues bustle around, suddenly fascinated by their phones and coffee cups. Everything okay? I turn to find Marcus Chen, our senior partner, watching from his office doorway. His expression holds something I've never seen before. Respect. Yes, sir. I apologize for the disruption. He shakes his head. Never apologize for maintaining professional boundaries. Now, about the Riverside project. The day passes in a blur of client meetings and design reviews. I throw myself into color schemes and furniture layouts, letting the familiar work steady my hands, quiet my mind. But as I pull into my apartment complex that evening, a familiar car sits waiting. Adam steps out, his face thunderous. How could you have security remove your own mother and sister? I grip my portfolio tighter. How could you mate with them behind my back for months? They're your family. They said you've always been dramatic about Sierra, that you blow everything out of proportion. He runs his hands through his hair. I thought if I could just get you all in the same room. The truth hits like a physical blow. You've been letting them tell you their version of me this whole time. Marissa? No. The word comes out sharp, final. You don't get to negotiate anymore. My family has been undermining my story for years, and you chose to believe them instead of me. We're done. I walk past him toward my building. Behind me, his voice cracks. Please, just talk to me. The security code beeps as I enter, and I find Elaine waiting in my apartment with takeout and wine. Saw his car outside. She pulls me into a fierce hug. I'm not leaving until he's gone. We sit on my balcony, picking at pad thai while the summer evening settles around us. Elaine tells me about her aunt who cut off contact with her manipulative sister 20 years ago. Best decision she ever made. Sometimes family is just people who share your DNA. My phone buzzes. A text from Marcus. My brother hasn't spoken to me in 15 years. His choice, his loss. Some people will never understand boundaries until you enforce them. See you tomorrow. Later that night, alone in my bedroom, I find the scholarship acceptance letter in my old journal. The elegant letterhead of the design school, the words that once promised everything. Full tuition and stipend awarded based on outstanding portfolio and recommendation letters. My fingers trace the date, the 15th of April, 2014. 1 week before Sierra sent that fake withdrawal email, destroying it all. For the first time since discovering her invitation to my wedding, I let myself cry. Not the quiet tears I've been hiding, but deep, racking sobs that echo off my apartment walls. I cry for the young woman who spent 6 years rebuilding her career from scratch. For the trust I'll never fully give again. For the family I thought I had. When the tears finally stop, I open my laptop. The design school's contact page glows on the screen. My fingers hover over the keys as I begin to type. To whom it may concern, I'm writing regarding a fraudulent withdrawal email sent from my account in April 2014. The response arrives within hours. They still have the records. The email header showing Sierra's IP address. The timestamps proving it wasn't me. I open a new email. Subject line, the truth about why I left design school. Recipients, Mom, Dad, Adam, Sierra, Aunt Sarah, Uncle Jim, Grandma Rose. My finger hovers over the send button. Sometimes truth isn't revenge. Sometimes it's simply removing the mask from a lie that's lived too long. My laptop screen glows in the darkness of my studio apartment. The clock reads 2:47 a.m., but sleep feels impossible with 10 years of evidence spread across my desk. Journal entries. Scholarship documents. The original congratulatory email, followed by the fake withdrawal Sierra sent from my account. Each piece tells part of the story they refused to hear. The sun was up when I finished with all the documents, and started sending mails one by one. It was all ready the next morning. I open a fresh document and begin typing. No emotional language, just facts. 2015. Received $75,000 scholarship to Pacific Design Institute. The 12th of March 2015. Sierra accessed my email through shared family computer. The 13th of March 2015. Fake withdrawal email sent to scholarship committee. The 14th of March 2015. Scholarship rescinded given to alternate candidate. My fingers hover over the keys as memories surface. The committee's confusion when I showed up for orientation. Sierra's smirk when I confronted her. My parents dismissing it as sisters being sisters. I add their responses through the years. Mom, you were always too sensitive about that scholarship thing. Dad, Sierra was just a teenager. Let it go. Sierra, you're so dramatic. It's ancient history. Then Adam's recent messages to my family. To Sierra, she'll forgive us both once she sees you there. To Mom, I know exactly how to handle Marissa's stubbornness. To Dad, the wedding will fix everything. The truth looks different laid bare in black and white. No dramatics needed. Just a decade of gaslighting exposed in their own words. My finger trembles over the mouse. The recipient list includes my parents, Adam, Sierra, and key family members who've been pressuring me to reconcile. One click will shatter the narrative they've built. I press send. The responses start within minutes. My father's voicemail thunders through the speaker. This family's dirty laundry isn't for public consumption. Sierra's video message pops up on Facebook. Her mascara runs as she begs for forgiveness, but her words ring hollow. I didn't understand what I was doing. The same excuse, repackaged with fresh tears. My phone buzzes with a text from the receptionist at work. Adam's here with flowers. Security turned him away per your instructions. Mom bombs the extended family group chat. Marissa's unwell. She's twisting events to hurt her sister. Please pray for her healing. But something shifts. Aunt Patricia, who I haven't heard from in years, breaks her silence. I believe Marissa. Lucy did the same thing to me in college. This family has a pattern of excusing cruelty. Cousin Rachel private messages me. When your mom said you were being dramatic, I stayed quiet. I'm sorry. They did the same to me when Uncle Jim stole my inheritance. You're not alone. My boss calls unexpectedly. Take a day off today. And you know, that mountain resort project you pitched? It's yours. Channel this energy into creating something beautiful. That day, I spent at my apartment, preparing for another obstacle. I am sure there will be more. But later that night, I slept without medication, for the first time since canceling the wedding. No dreams of Sierra's smirk or Adam's betrayal, just peaceful darkness. The following morning after the drama was over brings a text from Dad. I didn't realize how much this affected your career. No excuses or demands, just the first crack in his certainty. I don, T respond and go to work. At the office that morning, Sierra's lengthy social media post about family healing vanishes without explanation. The comments demanding I forgive her disappear too. Kelly from accounting stops by my desk. Adam tried sending more flowers. I returned them myself. She squeezes my shoulder. Some men never understand the word no. Later, Elaine forwards me a screenshot from our mutual friend Marcus. Adam finally admitted he screwed up. Said he should have respected Marissa's boundaries instead of playing family counselor. I throw myself into the mountain resort designs. The irony doesn't escape me, creating another venue in the Cascades, so similar to my canceled wedding location. But this time, every decision flows naturally. No second guessing, no compromise. The glass walls in my design mirror the surrounding forest. Local stone anchors the foundation. A sunken fire pit offers shelter from mountain winds. Each element exactly as I envision it. My computer pings with a wedding planning reminder. 3 months until the big day. I open the folder, cursor hovering over years of Pinterest boards and vendor contracts. With 3 clicks, I delete it all. The empty space feels right, like finally setting down a weight I forgot I was carrying. My phone lights up with another message from Mom. "We can still fix this, sweetheart. Family is everything." I place the phone face down without responding. She's wrong. Family isn't everything. Truth is everything. The rising sun paints my design sketches in shades of amber and gold. The same colors that were supposed to define my wedding day now illuminate the path forward. Not the path they chose for me. The one I'm finally strong enough to walk alone. My laptop screensaver flips to a photo from last week's site visit. I stand on the mountain overlook, wind whipping my hair, smile reaching my eyes for the first time in months. Behind me, the foundation takes shape, each stone exactly where I placed it. Some people spend their lives trying to fix broken foundations. I'm building something new, something real. But a small voice whispers, "What happens when those who hurt you refuse to accept your truth?" Dad's text feels like the first raindrop before a storm. Sierra's silence speaks louder than her tears. And somewhere, Adam still holds the wedding rings he promised would bind me to a life built on lies. The mountain resort plans glow on my screen, solid and true. Let the storm come. This time, I'm ready. First, I focus on finishing the design and meeting the clients. Second, I focus on myself and my peace. That's how a whole week has passed. And now, a week later, the dinner invitation sits on my kitchen counter, thick cream paper embossed with gold lettering. To discuss moving forward as a family. Mother's handwriting flows beneath in perfect cursive, suggesting Marcel's the French restaurant where I celebrated my college graduation. My first design award, every milestone that mattered. My phone buzzes. Another voicemail from Aunt Catherine. "Sweetie, we're all so worried about this rift." Delete. A text from Dad lands next. "Major client of mine asked about you today. Shame if they heard about any family drama." I drop the phone into my purse, but Adam's email notification catches my eye. "Everyone's taking sides, Marissa. Let me help fix this." The timestamp shows he sent it moments after Sierra's handwritten letter arrived her, looping script promising to make everything right. Their coordination would be impressive if it wasn't so suffocating. I called Elaine to go with me to the gathering, and she agreed. I was ready to face them all and started preparing. "You don't have to do this," Elaine says, straightening my blazer collar later that evening. We stand outside Marcel's autumn wind whipping fallen leaves across the cobblestone courtyard. "We could get pizza instead." "No," I smooth the portfolio tucked under my arm. "They need to understand exactly what they're asking me to forgive." Through the window, I spot them at our usual table, mother in pearls, Dad in his power suit, Sierra in something soft and peach that makes her look younger, more vulnerable. Adam's head bent close to my father's, probably strategizing, the perfect family tableau. I push open the heavy wooden door, Elaine close behind. Their heads snap up in unison. "Marissa." Mother half rises, confusion flickering across her face at the sight of Elaine. "We weren't expecting." "My terms, remember?" I choose the chair at the head of the table, not my usual spot beside Sierra. Elaine takes the seat to a quiet sentinel. "Sweetheart." Dad leans forward, his business negotiation smile in place. "We're here to heal as a family. Perhaps your friend could." Elaine stays. I open the portfolio, laying out documents with precise movements. Since we're here to discuss moving forward, let's start with exactly what we're moving forward from. Email headers spread across white linen. Technical proof of Sierra's sabotage, each timestamp a nail in the coffin of their denial. The scholarship committee's response confirming the withdrawal came from an unauthorized source. That's ancient history. Mother waves her hand. Sierra was just my journal. I placed the leather-bound book beside the emails. 6 years rebuilding my career from scratch. Every setback, every missed opportunity, every time I had to explain why I left design school. Sierra's fingers twist in her lap. Adam stares at the journal like it might bite. And this. The final document slides across the table. A complete financial analysis of the impact. Lost wages, student loans I wouldn't have needed, clients I couldn't take without proper credentials. Total cost, $223,412. Dad's wine glass freezes halfway to his mouth. Sierra's voice cracks. I didn't think it would really matter that much. Of course you didn't. The words emerge calm, steady. None of you did. That's why you're all so comfortable demanding I forgive and forget. We can make it right. Adam reaches across the table. Your parents could help with the money, I could. You could what? Ice coats every syllable. Conspire behind my back some more? Violate the one boundary I made absolutely clear? Mother dabs her lips with her napkin. Now, Marissa, if you just... These are my terms. I sit straighter, channeling Dad's boardroom posture. Non-negotiable. Silence falls as I outline each point. No relationship with Sierra. Parents respect my boundaries without question. Adam permanently removed from my life. But we're family, Sierra whispers. No. The word lands like a gavel. Family respects boundaries. Family protects each other. Family doesn't conspire to ambush someone at their own wedding. That's not fair. Adam's jaw clenches. We were trying to help. By completely dismissing what she told you? Elaine's quiet voice cuts through his protest. Some help. I gather the documents, sliding them back into the portfolio. I'm not asking for your agreement or understanding. I'm informing you of my decision. Elizabeth. Dad uses Mother's first Nama warning. Let her finish. You've made your point, Mother's voice wavers. But surely with time. Time doesn't fix betrayal. I stand, Elaine rising beside me. It just reveals who's willing to earn trust back and who expects it handed to them. Please, Sierra reaches for my hand. I step back. I don't wish any of you ill. The words come from somewhere deep and certain. But I won't sacrifice my peace to maintain the illusion of family harmony. Not anymore. The maitre d' appears with menus. I shake my head. We won't be staying. Walking out, I hear Mother's shaky inhale, Dad's heavy sigh. But my steps don't falter. The autumn wind catches my hair as Elaine and I emerge into the courtyard, carrying the scent of wood smoke and turning leaves. You okay? She asks. I look back at the warm windows of Marcel's, at the family tableau now fractured beyond repair. The strange lightness in my chest isn't quite peace not yet, but it's something closer to it than I've felt in years. Yeah, I turn away from the restaurant. I think I finally am. And with these small steps, it took me finally to heal completely after a year. Sunlight streams through the floor-to-ceiling windows of my new office, catching the brass nameplate on my desk. Marissa Caldwell, Principal Designer. The Mountain Retreat Project Award sits beside it, its crystal edges throwing rainbow prisms across my laptop screen. 1 year. The words still catch in my throat, sometimes 1 year since I walked away from a wedding, a family, and a lifetime of trying to be who they wanted. My fingers trace the embossed letters of the award. Excellence in Sustainable Design. The irony doesn't escape me. I won it for the very mountain venue I'd redesigned after canceling my own wedding there. Where Adam's betrayal had shattered my world, I'd built something stronger from the pieces. Marissa? Jenny from reception pokes her head in. Your 2 o'clock is here, the design student? I straighten the framed photos on my desk, not the formal family portraits my mother insisted every home needed, but snapshots of my chosen family. Elaine and me hiking the Pacific Crest, I recognized from my own reflection years ago. I'm Sophie Martinez, she says, settling into the chair across from me. Thank you for considering me for the internship. Her portfolio tells me everything I need to know about her talent. But it's the tremor in her voice when she mentions her family that makes my decision. They don't support your choice to study design? I keep my tone gentle. Sophie's eyes widen. How did you? I recognize the look. I turn to the window, giving her space to compose herself. My family had very specific ideas about what success should look like, too. They want me to study business. The words tumble out. Dad says design is just a hobby, not a real career. Mom keeps sending me listings for accounting programs. My phone buzzes a text from my father. Happy birthday, Marissa. No pressure, just thinking of you. A year ago, that message would have come with strings attached. Now, he's learning. Slowly. I swipe away the notification and focus on Sophie. Tell me about your favorite project in your portfolio. For the next hour, I watch her come alive describing her designs. The same fire I had at her age burns in her eyes. Before she leaves, I hand her an internship offer letter and something LC brochure for the Caldwell Design Scholarship. No family references required, I tell her, just talent and drive. That evening, I wander through the completed mountain retreat. Sunset paints the Douglas fir beams in amber light. Where the wedding altar would have stood, a wall of windows now frames the cascades. The great room's soaring ceiling draws the eye up, until the mountain itself seems to belong inside. My phone buzzes again. A message from my mother, her third this week. Sweetheart, Sierra's back in town. She's changed so much, maybe. I delete it without finishing. Some boundaries need no explanation anymore. In my office, I open the lowest desk drawer. The journal from 10 years ago sits exactly where I placed it the day I finally read it to my therapy group. Its pages chronicle every detail of Sierra's betrayal, every dismissive word from my parents, every dollar and dream that scholarship would have funded. But it's the newest journal beside it that matters more. Its pages map a different kind of architecture, the blueprint of a life rebuilt on my own terms. Notes from therapy sessions where I learned to trust my instincts. Letters I wrote but never sent, their anger transformed into fuel for forward motion. The first design concepts for this mountain retreat, sketched the week after I returned my engagement ring. My last therapy session plays back in my mind. How do you feel when you hear about Adam's engagement? The truth had surprised even me. Nothing. His choices belong to him now, just like mine belong to me. A knock at the door pulls me from the memory. The cleaning crew has arrived, another boundary I've learned to set. My work life ends at 6, allowing space for the weekly support group I now help facilitate. Walking to my car, I spot a familiar silver SUV in the parking lot. My mother. The old Marissa would have turned back, let herself be cornered into another exhausting conversation about family obligation. But that Marissa crumbled with the wedding plans. I pull out my phone and type, "I'm not available to talk. Please respect my boundary." Simple. Clear. No justification needed. The drive home takes me past the small design school where I'll announce the scholarship winners next month. 10 full rides for students who dare to dream bigger than their family's expectations. The application form makes me smile every time I review it. Tell us what you'll build when you stop living for one else. 20 minutes later, my condo welcomes me with the scent of lavender and Pinami own's signature blend. Not the artifices my mother always preferred. Photos line the entryway, chronicling the past year's metamorphosis. The first design award. Teaching at the community center. Holidays spent with friends who celebrate my successes instead of demanding my surrender. In the kitchen, I pour a glass of wine and lean against the counter. The sunset streams through windows I positioned precisely for this moment, painting my walls in shades of possibility. Here, in this space I designed for myself, an unexpected peace settles over me. Some people spend their lives building families. Others focus on building walls. I built something stronger, a foundation that doesn't depend on anyone else's approval. A life that's genuinely, uncompromisingly mine. The Mountain Retreat project taught me that the strongest structures rise from the clearest vision. My vision finally stands clear. I am the architect of my own peace, the designer of my own legacy, and the builder of my own future. And no one can take that away. I stand frozen in the doorway of Caleb's hotel room, my hand still gripping the brass handle as though it might anchor me to reality. The scene before me refuses to make sense, like a puzzle assembled all wrong, pieces jammed together that were never meant to fit. A half-empty glass sits on the nightstand, amber liquid catching the light, strange white residue clinging to its rim. My gaze drifts to the rumpled bed where Caleb lies, my fiancé, the man I'm supposed to marry tomorrow. His tuxedo shirt is partly unbuttoned, his eyes struggling to focus on me. And hovering over him with smudged lipstick and a cold smile that doesn't reach her eyes is Madison, my sister. The wedding planner's checklist lies abandoned on the floor nearby, tomorrow's date circled in red. My wedding day. Our wedding day. Ava. Caleb slurs, trying to sit up. Something's wrong. I don't feel. Shh, Madison says, placing a finger against his lips. You've had a little too much to drink, that's all. But I know Caleb. One scotch is his limit before any important event. Always has been. Time slows as I notice Tyler, Caleb's best man, standing solemnly by the window, his phone held at chest level, recording. His face is grim, jaw clenched tight. What's happening? I manage, my voice sounding distant to my own ears. Madison turns to me with a dismissive laugh that cuts like glass. It was mutual. He's been hitting on me this whole time. She tosses her hair styled almost identical to mine now, I realize with a chill. You know how men get cold feet. Before I can respond, my father pushes past me into the room, his face contorted with rage. What the hell is going on here? The words explode from him, filling the space. Behind him, my mother gasps, her hand flying to her throat. Oh my goodness, she whispers, then immediately. Madison, honey, what happened to you? To her, not to Caleb, disoriented on the bed, not to me, standing shattered in the doorway. And that's when I know. This wasn't impulsive. This was calculated. The realization punches through me like a physical blow, stealing my breath. Suddenly, warning signs from the past 3 months flash through my mind with painful clarity. My hesitation to introduce Caleb to my family. The knot in my stomach I dismissed as nerves. Madison at our first dinner, wearing a dress cut too low, leaning across the table toward Caleb, ignoring her own date. Her lingering touches on his arm when passing the salt. Her pointed questions about his recent promotion. Senior investment advisor at 32? That's impressive. Ava always did know how to pick the ambitious ones. My mother smiling. Madison has always had an eye for potential too. I dismissed my unease as paranoia. Family loyalty would prevail. It had to. Now, watching Madison's practiced expression of innocence, I recognized the familiar pattern. The same look she wore when she accidentally crashed my high school prom. When she happened to run into my college boyfriend during spring break, Tyler steps forward, phone extended toward my father. You need to see this, Mr. Richardson. He presses play. The video shows the hotel bar from earlier this evening. Madison approaches a table where Caleb sits alone reviewing his speech cards. She slides beside him, all smiles. Orders drinks. When Caleb looks away, her hand moves over his glass, dropping something in, stirring quickly. The footage continues, showing Caleb becoming increasingly disoriented. His attempts to stand, to call for help. Madison's arm around his waist, guiding him toward the elevator. Let me help you to your room. My father's face drains of color as understanding dawns. It's not what it looks like, Madison begins, her voice taking on the wounded tone she's perfected over years. He asked me to meet him. The sound of flesh meeting, flesh cracks through the room. My father's palm connects with Madison's cheek the first time in 29 years he's ever struck either of his daughters. My mother screams, rushing to shield Madison. Robert, how could you? How could I? He roars. How could she? How could you still defend this? The door behind us opens again as Caleb's parents arrive, drawn by the commotion. Their expressions harden with each passing second as they take in the scene. Hotel security appears next, the manager trailing behind them. Is there a problem here? I can't answer. Silent tears stream down my face as I watch my wedding day implode before it even begins. The careful planning, the tasteful invitations, the vows I'd written and rewritten until every word felt perfect, all of it meaningless now. What would you do if your own sister betrayed you at the moment that should have been your happiest? Would you forgive family for the unforgivable? Or would you draw a line that could never be crossed again? Stay with me, because my response will challenge everything you believe about family bonds. I stare at my wedding dress hanging on the closet door, its ivory lace catching the morning light that filters through the hotel suite curtains. Untouched, unworn, a beautiful ghost of what should have been. The wedding coordinator, Jeanette, sits across from me, her clipboard resting on her lap, her eyes filled with a sympathy I can't bear to acknowledge. We can postpone, Ava. Everything can be rescheduled when you're ready. When I'm ready. As if there could ever be a time when I'd be ready to face the guests after what happened last night. My phone buzzes again the 15th time in the past hour. I don't need to look to know it's another relative or friend asking what happened, why the church doors remained locked this morning, why no one received the traditional wedding day has arrived message I'd scheduled to send automatically. Caleb's medical report came back, my father says, entering the suite with heavy footsteps. He looks decades older than he did yesterday, the lines around his eyes deeper, his shoulders hunched forward as if carrying a weight they weren't designed to bear. Traces of Rohypnol in his system. Clear as day. The knowledge sinks into me like a stone dropping through still water. I knew it last night, but hearing it confirmed makes my chest constrict. And the security footage? Hotel manager just showed it to me. Dad's voice breaks. Madison arrived at 6:42 p.m., 20 minutes before she was supposed to meet us for the rehearsal dinner. She went straight to the bar where Caleb was reviewing his speech. The words hang in the air between us as Jeanette quietly excuses herself, squeezing my hand before she leaves. I don't squeeze back. I can't feel anything but a cold rage crystallizing in my core. I need to see something, I say, reaching for my laptop. Dad watches as I open Caleb's cloud storage heist password saved in my browser from the time he asked me to help organize our honeymoon photos. Years of text messages back up automatically. I type Madison in the search bar and my breath catches. Dozens of messages, going back nearly 2 years. I'm just venting about the divorce, one reads. You're so easy to talk to, not like most guys. Another. Bumped into you at the coffee shop this morning. What a coincidence. We should grab lunch sometime when Ava's busy with work. And more recently, you're too good for her, you know. She doesn't appreciate what she has. I click on location data attached to some of the texts. Coffee shops near Caleb's office. The gym he frequents on Tuesdays. The bookstore where he buys his professional journals. None of these were coincidences. Look at this, I whisper, turning the screen toward Dad. She's been tracking him, following him, creating accidental meetings for months. My hands tremble as I open my phone gallery and begin scrolling backward through photos of Madison and me. There 3 months ago, her hair still its natural blonde. Then 2 months ago, the same chestnut brown as mine. Her clothing style shifting subtly. The same shade of lipstick. Even her laugh changing to mirror my own. Dad, I whisper, can you get Mom's family photo albums? He returns 20 minutes later, his expression grim. We spread the albums across the bed holidays, birthdays, vacations. I see it now, the pattern I was too close to notice. Mom's arm always around Madison. Madison always in the center. My achievements noted with a cursory, that's nice, dear, while Madison's smallest accomplishments warranted celebration dinners. Dad's phone rings. He answers, listens, then his face drains of color. I'll be right there, he says, disconnecting. What now? I ask, though part of me doesn't want to know. I need to check something in your old bedroom at the house. His voice is tight. The hotel staff found items in Madison's room, things that seemed personal. They wanted to know if they were stolen. While he's gone, my phone buzzes incessantly. A text from Tyler. Madison's refusing to leave the hotel, demanding a family meeting to explain her side. Almost simultaneously, a message appears from Aunt Caroline. Your mother called. Says this is all just a terrible misunderstanding. What's going on, sweetie? Then from cousin Rebecca. I always knew Madison had issues, but drugging Caleb? That can't be true. And from Uncle Stephen. Family sticks together, Ava. Whatever this is, we can work through it. The realization hits me like a physical blow. They're already rewriting the narrative. By tonight, it will be a misunderstanding. By tomorrow, perhaps I'll be the villain for not forgiving family. A knock at the door reveals Caleb's parents, their faces set with determination. We've spoken with Caleb, his father says. The wedding will still happen, Ava. When you're ready, not when they expect. Behind them stands Tyler, his phone in hand. The groomsmen are handling guest communications. Standard message. Private family emergency. Details forthcoming. Gifts can be collected at the reception venue. Some of your guests are already taking sides, Tyler adds quietly. Your college roommate Lisa is defending you fiercely in the group chat. Your mother's bridge club friends are less supportive. Your father has secured a private room, Mrs. Jenkins adds, her hand firm on my shoulder. For immediate family only, away from prying eyes and wagging tongues. Dad returns, his face ashen, a small box in his hands. Found these in Madison's overnight bag at the house. He opens it to reveal my childhood diary, the pearl earrings Grandma gave me for my 16th birthday, and photos of Caleb I'd kept in my old desk. She was using your memories to cack to him. A text message lights up my phone from Caleb this time. A photo of a handwritten note. Nothing changes. I love you. We face this together. The hotel manager appears at the door. Miss Richardson, I've arranged for a delayed ceremony at no additional cost whenever you feel ready. This situation is unprecedented in my 20 years here. Strength floods back into my limbs. I stand, smoothing my wrinkled clothes from yesterday. Tell me where the family room is. 20 minutes later, I walk through the door of a small conference room. Madison sits at the table, eyes red-rimmed but calculating. Mom stands behind her, hand protectively on her shoulder. Aunts, uncles, and grandparents fill the remaining seats, their expressions ranging from concern to confusion. Oh, Ava, Madison begins, her voice catching with practiced vulnerability. I'm so sorry about this misunderstanding. Madison was going through something. Mom interrupts. She's been struggling since her divorce and with the wedding stress. I say nothing. Instead, I connect my tablet to the television mounted on the wall. The room falls silent as security footage begins to play. Madison at the bar, her hand over Caleb's drink. The white powder dissolving as she stirs with a swizzle stick. Caleb's growing disorientation, his attempts to call for help. Madison leading him to the elevator. The footage ends. No one speaks. Uncle Stephen stares at his hands. Aunt Caroline covers her mouth. Grandma Edith's eyes narrow in a way I've never seen before. Mom attempts to speak, but Grandma Edith raises her hand. No, Linda, not this time. I look directly at my mother, then at each family member in turn. This is what happened. Not a misunderstanding. Not a mistake. Not a cry for help. This is what she chose to do to Meadow Houston the night before my wedding. Madison's performance crumbles under the weight of irrefutable evidence. The tears dry instantly as her eyes harden with a resentment I recognize from childhood, but have never seen so naked, so unveiled. My voice doesn't waver. Not anymore. Because sometimes what you thought was paranoia turns out to be your intuition, desperately trying to protect you from those who should have loved you most. My phone buzzes again, the 5th time in 20 minutes. I don't need to check the screen to know it's another relative with an opinion I never asked for. Outside my hotel window, dawn breaks over the town where Madison and I both grew up, a place where news travels faster than light. The venue manager had called yesterday afternoon. Miss Richardson, I hate to ask, but we need to confirm, we proceeding with cancellation details? Her voice had been carefully neutral, already assuming the worst. The local gossip mill had clearly been working overtime. I pick up the device, thumb hovering over the power button. Madison's latest Instagram post glows accusingly on the screen. A childhood photo of us in matching dresses, her arm thrown over my smaller shoulders. Sometimes we hurt the ones we love without meaning to. Praying for understanding and forgiveness during this difficult family time. The calculated performance makes my stomach turn. 78 sympathetic comments below, most from people who haven't bothered to ask what actually happened. I silence the phone and slide it into the nightstand drawer, shutting away the noise. The wedding dress hangs by the window, catching morning light. 20,000 hand-sewn beads. 6 months of alterations. One sister who tried to ensure I'd never wear it. A gentle knock interrupts my thoughts. Ava? It's not the voice I expect. It's Chaplain Thomas. Do you have a moment? I hesitate, half expecting to find my mother standing there uninvited, another album of Madison's childhood photos clutched in her hands. She'd appeared at my door at dawn, flipping through faded images. Look how sweet she was, she'd insisted, as though baby pictures could erase drugging my fiancé. The hotel chaplain waits in the sitting area of my suite, his weathered hands folded patiently in his lap. He doesn't rush to fill the silence as I settle across from him. The hotel manager mentioned what happened, he says finally. I thought you might appreciate someone to talk to who isn't involved. Are you here to tell me about forgiveness? My voice sounds sharper than intended. He smiles slightly. I'm here to talk about commitment, the kind that matters when everything else falls apart. Something in his tone reaches through my anger. For the next hour, we discuss what marriage vows actually mean, not the flowery promises about sunshine and roses, but the harder pledges about standing together when the world turns hostile. Your wedding day is just one day, he says before leaving. Your marriage is every day that follows. The wedding coordinator's voicemail plays through the room speaker. We completely understand if you want to postpone. Just confirm by noon and we'll handle the notifications. Postpone. The word hangs in the air like surrender, like letting Madison decide even this. I reach for a notepad and begin to write. Not the vows I'd rehearsed for months, but new ones that acknowledge what we've already weathered. What commitment actually looks like when tested by fire instead of merely promised in theory. My phone rings again, the hotel room's landline this time. It's Caleb's doctor. His system is clear of the sedative, she confirms. He's still experiencing some effects, but he's coherent. If he feels able, there's no medical reason he can't participate in the ceremony. I thank her and hang up, my decision crystallizing. Postponing means letting Madison control the narrative for weeks or months. It means giving power to someone who has already stolen too much. There will be a wedding today, just not the one I planned. Family forgives, Ava. My mother's voice carries that familiar note of emotional blackmail as she barges into the bridal preparation room, Madison trailing behind her like a shadow. Your sister has made a terrible mistake, but a mistake implies something unintentional. I interrupt, meeting my sister's gaze in the mirror. I've watched the video 17 times now. There was nothing temporary or unintended about what you did. Madison steps forward, eyes brimming with tears that never quite fall. I wasn't thinking clearly. I've been so lost lately, and seeing you so happy when my own marriage failed. Stop. The word isn't loud, but it silences the room. You drugged my fiancé. You recorded it. You planned it for months. I turn from the mirror to face them directly. This isn't about forgiveness, it's about consequences. Madison's rehearsed remorse hardens into something uglier. You always think you're better than everyone. Perfect Ava, who never makes mistakes. The wedding coordinator appears at the doorway, her professional smile firmly in place. I'm afraid I'll need to ask you both to leave. We have security waiting to escort you to your car. You can't be serious. My mother's voice rises. I'm the mother of the bride. Not today. You're not. The words slip out before I can stop them, but I find I don't regret them. The coordinator doesn't flinch as she firmly guides them both toward the door. I catch a glimpse of Tyler standing in the hallway, arms crossed, 2 other groomsmen flanking him like sentries. They've taken it upon themselves to form an impromptu security detail around the ceremony space protection I never imagined needing at my own wedding. After they're gone, Eleanor Jenkins, Caleb's mother, steps in quietly, the wedding dress draped carefully over her arms. May I help? She asks, and the simple kindness nearly breaks me. The chapel looks different than I imagined, with guests clustered on only one side. Empty spaces mark where my mother's family should be sitting. My father waits in the hallway, eyes red-rimmed but resolve evident in his straight shoulders. You don't have to do this today, he says softly. No one would blame me for waiting. I would. I straighten his tie, a gesture that feels both ordinary and profound. This isn't the wedding I planned, but it's the marriage we've already started building. He nods, understanding more than I expected. I failed you with Madison. I saw what she was becoming, and I thought staying neutral was the right thing. You're here now, I say, taking his arm. That matters more. The doors open. Caleb stands at the altar, paler than normal but steady. Tyler and the groomsmen form a protective semicircle behind him, their expressions somber but determined. One of them, James, I think scans the guests as if expecting trouble. My father and I move down the aisle with measured steps. This isn't the triumphant procession I'd imagined, but there's quiet dignity in simply showing up when running away would be easier. The chaplain acknowledges the unusual circumstances with grace, speaking about commitment as something proven rather than merely promised. When Caleb takes my hands, his are warm and sure. I didn't write these vows for today, he says quietly, just for me. But they're more true now than they would have been yesterday. As we exchange rings, the chaplain calls for a moment of silence for those whose absence is felt today. The quiet speaks volumes about what family should mean versus what it sometimes is. After the pronouncement, my father embraces Caleb fiercely. I'm so sorry, he whispers. Caleb shakes his head. Not your burden to carry. We turn to face our diminished but determined gathering, not the wedding I dreamed of, but perhaps the one that honestly reflects the marriage we're building. A union tested before it even began, stronger for having faced the worst together rather than apart. Sometimes love isn't about perfect beginnings. It's about choosing to stand together when walking away would be easier. The plane banks slightly, sunlight catching my wedding ring and sending prisms dancing across the tray table. I flex my fingers, still getting used to the weight of the band. Beside me, Caleb shifts in his sleep, his face relaxed for the first time in days. The gentle rise and fall of his chest steadies me as we soar toward the Bahamas, toward what should be pure happiness. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be landing in Nassau in approximately 20 minutes, the pilot announces. Caleb stirs, blinking away sleep. His hand finds mine, thumb absently turning my wedding ring. Hey, Mrs. Jenkins. The name feels right, even if everything surrounding its acquisition has gone sideways. Hey yourself. His expression turns serious. We need to talk about what happens when we get back. Not now, I say softly. We have 6 days. Madison and my mother can wait. But their presence lingers between us even at 30,000 feet. Boundaries. The word has taken on new meaning since watching Tyler's video footage. I never imagined needing to defend myself against my own sister, my own mother. The resort welcomes us with expected fanfare. Champagne, flower leaves, and staff calling us newlyweds with practiced enthusiasm. Our suite door sports a just married sign in curling script. Inside, rose petals form a path to a king-size bed. It should feel magical. Instead, it feels like we're actors in someone else's romantic comedy. Caleb stands at the balcony, staring at the ocean. I keep replaying it in my head. I join him, our shoulders touching. I know. I was so confused. 1 minute I was in the bar going over my speech, and then his voice cracks. I knew something was wrong. I tried to call you. My stomach twists remembering Madison's words. It was mutual. The easiest lie, designed to shatter us both. That night, Caleb thrashes in his sleep, calling out. I catch fragments, stop and please, and once, my name, desperate and questioning. I wake him gently, his skin clammy under my palm. She was there, he whispers. In the dream, wearing your perfume. I hold him until his breathing steadies, until the demons retreat. In the morning, I delete every social media app from my phone. 6 days of peace. We've earned it. But peace proves elusive. By day 3, the messages find us anyway. 7 voicemails from my mother since breakfast. I tell Caleb as we return from snorkeling. 2 from Aunt Carol, 1 from Uncle Pete. Caleb's jaw tightens. Family messengers? Bingo. I scroll through text notifications. Oh, and apparently Madison has started therapy and deeply regrets her temporary lapse in judgment. Caleb's laugh is sharp and humorless. Temporary? She spent 3 months setting that up. The hotel concierge approaches us in the lobby. Mrs. Jenkins, a package arrived for you. Inside our room, I open the envelope to find childhood photos. Madison and me making snow angels, riding bikes, holding hands at the state fair. A handwritten note reads, "Remember who she really is. Family forgives. Love, Mom." I let the photos fall to the floor. She still doesn't get it. But worse news arrives that afternoon. Madison has called Caleb's firm, claiming to need to speak with him about a family emergency. "That's it," Caleb says, voice dangerously quiet. "This ends now." We spend the evening crafting a response not just to Madison, but to the situation. I write an email to my extended family, clear and unapologetic. My words are measured but firm. This was not a misunderstanding. This was not a mistake. This was a deliberate attempt to drug my husband and destroy my marriage. We will be taking time away from family gatherings for 1 year while we heal. Caleb blocks Madison's number, email, and social accounts while I watch. The definitiveness of each click brings a strange mixture of pain and relief. "I need to see my father when we get back," I say. "Alone, without Mom or Madison." Caleb nods. "Whatever you need." On our last day, the hotel delivers a gift basket. Inside is a card from my father, containing 2 new SIM cards with a note. New numbers, new start, love, Dad. News filters through, despite our defenses. Madison has been asked to leave my parents' home. Dad has started seeing a therapist to understand his role in enabling her behavior over the years. Extended family members who initially believed Madison's version have begun to apologize after seeing the video evidence. Our wedding photos arrive in my inbox on our final day. Beautiful despite everything. Tyler captured moments of genuine joy amid the wreckage. Dad's proud smile as he walked me down the aisle. Caleb's eyes locking with mine as we spoke our vows. The small but loyal gathering of guests who chose to stand with us. "We look happy," Caleb says, studying the images over my shoulder. We were, I realize. We are. Back home, wedding gifts wait in our apartment. Reminders of those who believed in us enough to send them despite everything. Dad arrives for dinner our first night back. Alone, but carrying a folder of financial documents. "Madison's trust fund is frozen," he says without preamble. "The money your grandmother left was meant for education and a down payment on a home. Not." He trails off, unable to name what Madison tried to do. "And Mom?" I ask, though I already know. Dad's face crumples momentarily before he regains control. "She's moved in with Madison. Says I've abandoned our daughter when she needs us most." He looks down at his hands. "I told her Madison isn't the only daughter we have." The admission cost him. I can see it in the new lines around his eyes, the slight tremor in his fingers as he passes me the folder. "I've revised my will and financial arrangements. You should know what's in there." Later, as Caleb and I clear the dishes, I wonder aloud, is it even possible to have any relationship with them after this, with either of them? Caleb places a plate in the dishwasher with deliberate care. That's not a decision you need to make today. But we both know some lines, once crossed, change the landscape forever. The question isn't whether I'll forgive Madison, it's whether I can ever trust a family system that produced and protected her behavior for decades. Where forgiveness ends and self-protection begins isn't a line drawn in sand. It's carved in stone, with the chisel still warm in my hand. The cream-colored envelope sits on our kitchen counter like a landmine waiting to detonate. I've been staring at it for 20 minutes, the elegant script of my mother's handwriting both familiar and threatening. 3 months since our wedding day, and here it is, the inevitable attempt to rewrite history. "You don't have to open it," Caleb says, placing a mug of coffee beside me. His voice is steady, but the slight furrow between his brows betrays his concern. I slide my finger under the flap and pull out an embossed invitation. "Family Healing Retreat," it announces in ornate lettering. Below that, my mother has handwritten, "To reunite our broken circle." I pull out a second paper, Madison's letter, her handwriting eerily similar to mine. 3 months of intensive therapy. I read aloud, my voice flat. She claims she's had a breakthrough about her competitive issues with me. I look up at Caleb. She says she's ready to make amends. Caleb takes the invitation, his jaw tightening as he reads the presumptuous line at the bottom. Ava and Caleb will share their journey to forgiveness. They've already told people we're coming, I realize, the familiar weight of manipulation settling on my shoulders. Dad called yesterday. Apparently, Mom's been telling the extended family it was all a misunderstanding fueled by wedding stress. A misunderstanding, Caleb repeats, the words sharp with disbelief. He sets the paper down carefully, as though it might contaminate him. Your sister drugged me, Ava. I reach for his hand. I know. The restaurant Dad suggested is neutral territory, a new place neither of us has visited before. He's already there when we arrive, looking older than he did 3 months ago, the lines around his eyes deeper. Thank you both for coming, he says, standing to embrace me. He extends his hand to Caleb, who takes it firmly. I've drawn up some conditions. I say once we're seated, sliding a folder across the table. If Mom and Madison want any relationship with us moving forward, these boundaries are non-negotiable. Dad opens the folder, adjusting his reading glasses. Our family therapist helped us draft the document clear, concise, and unflinching in its requirements. Full public acknowledgement of what happened, Dad reads. No private apologies followed by public revision of facts. He nods slowly. It's fair, but Linda. He removes his glasses, pin the bridge of his nose. She still believes Madison just made a mistake. She refuses to see what's right in front of her. That's her choice, Caleb says quietly. But we're not hiding what happened, not even to keep the peace. Dad looks between us, shoulders squared with resolve. I'll stand with you, whatever happens. The family gathering fills my aunt's backyard. Folding chairs arranged in a circle, platters of food on tables draped with white cloths. A family reunion disguised as an intervention. Conversations halt as we enter through the side gate, Dad leading the way. I spot Madison immediately, hairstyled more conservatively than I've seen in years, her expression a practiced mask of contrition. She's lost weight, the angles of her face sharper. Behind her stands my mother, scanning the yard until she spots us. Ava, Caleb! Mom rushes forward, arms outstretched for a public display of reconciliation. I step back. Her arms drop awkwardly. Let's all sit down, calls Uncle Frank, the family patriarch at 78. We're here to heal old wounds. 30 pairs of eyes watch as we take our seats in the circle. Mom has positioned herself between Madison and an empty chair, clearly meant for me. I choose a seat across the circle instead, Caleb and Dad flanking me like sentinels. Before we begin, Uncle Frank continues, I think we should. I'd like to speak first. I interrupt, my voice carrying across the yard with unexpected strength. A ripple of surprise moves through the gathering. In this family, the youngest rarely sets the agenda. I unfold the paper in my hands, though I've memorized every word. 3 months ago, my sister deliberately drugged my fiancé the night before our wedding. She recorded her attempt to stage a compromising situation. These aren't allegations or misunderstandings, they're documented facts. The silence that follows is absolute. Several relatives shift uncomfortably, looking between Madison and me. Trust, once broken, doesn't mend with wishful thinking. I continue. It requires genuine remorse, complete honesty, and changed behavior. We've established boundaries that must be respected before any relationship can be rebuilt. I outline our conditions clearly: no contact without prior arrangement, no gifts, no surprise visits, no social media commentary. And most importantly, no alternate versions of the truth. Madison, I say, looking directly at my sister for the first time, are you willing to acknowledge, here and now, exactly what you did and why? My sister's face transforms, the mask of remorse cracking to reveal glimpses of the calculating woman who stood over my drugged fiancé. Her eyes narrow, darting between sympathetic family faces. I've apologized repeatedly, she begins, voice trembling with practiced emotion. But Ava has always been jealous of my relationships with... That's enough, my mother interrupts, springing to her feet. Ava, You're destroying this family with these accusations and demands. Can't you see your sister is suffering? Your daughter did that when she drugged me, Caleb says, his quiet words landing like stones in still water. Mom gasps as though he slapped her. I stand, my decision made. We've said what we came to say. These are our terms. Anyone who wants a relationship with us will respect them. Dad rises beside us, shoulders straight despite the pain in his eyes. As we turn to leave, a frail voice calls out, I believe you. My great-aunt Elizabeth, 82 and rarely vocal at family gatherings, pushes herself to her feet with her cane. And I'm coming with you. Would you have confronted your family publicly or handled it privately? Ava chose to stand in her truth regardless of who it made uncomfortable. As you'll see in our final chapter, sometimes the family you build is stronger than the family you're born into. The tiny flame dances atop a single candle stuck in a chocolate cupcake. Caleb's eyes reflect the golden light as he sits across from me at our dining table, his hand reaching for mine. Happy first anniversary, he says, voice low and steady, to surviving the most dramatic wedding in history. I squeeze his fingers, to thriving despite it. Our new home wraps around us like a protective cocoon, the modern security systems silently keeping watch from every corner. We chose this neighborhood carefully 30 minutes from my old life, and across town, from where Madison still lives with my mother. The distance isn't just physical. Caleb releases my hand to retrieve a small box from his pocket. It's not diamonds, he warns with a half smile. Those are for year 10. Inside rests a delicate silver key charm from my bracelet, engraved on its surface. Truth unlocks freedom. It's perfect, I whisper, blinking back unexpected tears. Pregnancy hormones have ambushed my emotional defenses lately. After dinner, we settle on the couch beneath the gallery wall. We've created photos of our chosen family. Tyler and his wife beaming at our small wedding. Dad standing proudly between us at the lake house last summer. Caleb's parents helping us move in. Conspicuously absent, any trace of Madison or my mother. My hand drifts to the small swell beneath my sweater. Dr. Winters says everything looks perfect. 22 weeks now. Caleb places his palm over mine. The nursery down the hall waits with freshly painted walls and a crib Dad assembled last weekend. Pale yellow stars march across a sky blue, sealing nothing pink, nothing blue. Just the promise of infinite possibility. I had another session with Dr. Chen yesterday, I say, naming my therapist of 11 months. We talked about setting boundaries for when the baby comes. Caleb nods, his jaw tightening slightly. Good. The last thing we need is your mother showing up unannounced with Madison in tow. The violation of trust still sits heavy in his eyes sometimes. His own counselor says the anger may never completely disappear. What Madison did wasn't just a betrayal of me, but an assault on his autonomy. Our joint sessions with Dr. Reeves have given us tools to navigate these waters together. Dad called this morning, I say, changing the subject. He's coming for dinner Sunday. My father visits regularly now, always alone. The divorce papers were finalized 6 months ago after Mom refused to stop enabling Madison's attempts to rewrite history. He seems lighter somehow, as though shedding a lifetime of looking the other way has unburdened him. My phone buzzes with a message. I hesitate before checking a habit born from months of Madison's manipulative texts followed by Mom's guilt-laden voicemails. But it's from cousin Emma, 22 and fighting her own battle with family betrayal. Can we talk tomorrow? My sister and Mom are ganging up again. How you stayed so strong. Caleb reads over my shoulder, his hand settling protectively on my shoulder. Another recruit for your support group? I nod. The online community I started for others experiencing family betrayal has grown to over 300 members. We meet virtually twice monthly, sharing stories and strategies for holding boundaries without holding grudges. I'll tell her what I tell everyone. Family should protect, not harm. I type my response, suggesting a video call tomorrow afternoon. Dad says he's proud of Mena just for standing firm against Madison's continued attempts to twist reality, but for channeling my pain into purpose. The video evidence sits buried in a digital folder, no longer needed for validation. The truth has written itself into the fabric of our lives without requiring constant replaying. I catch Caleb watching me, his eyes soft. What? I ask. Just thinking how different you look when you talk about this stuff now. There's no pain in your eyes anymore. He's right. Somewhere between therapy and boundaries and building this new life, the story has transformed from an open wound to a healed scar visible, but no longer bleeding. On our refrigerator, ultrasound photos chart our child's development beside a calendar marking new traditions we're creating. Mother's Day spent with Caleb's family. Thanksgiving at our house with Dad and friends. Christmas morning, just the two soon-to-be three of us before visiting others. As Caleb clears the dessert plates, I study our wedding photo on the mantle. The small gathering looks nothing like the elaborate ceremony we'd originally planned, but the joy in our eyes is genuine, perhaps more so for having been tested by fire. Sometimes losing what you thought was family means finding what family should have been all along. What family traditions or dynamics have you chosen to break to create a healthier future? When did you realize that sometimes love means setting boundaries, not removing them? Share your journey in the comments below.